So today I'm going to go over Jerry Garcia's vocal melody in Franklin's Tower. And I'm sure you've heard a lot of guitar teachers talk about how important it is to know the melody and play the melody of songs. And I feel like this is a great example for it. Playing the melody of a song can mean many different things. You know, on one end of the continuum, you have people that'll play the whole verse melody and the whole chorus melody. You know, it's kind of like if you put on instrumental piano Christmas songs, you'll have the piano player playing the whole melodies throughout the whole thing. And then you have more on the jazz side where people will just take one melody or a head of a song and they'll just play that and expand on it. For me personally, I'll only play the melody if it's very catchy or if it means something to me. I don't want to sit there and learn a whole verse melody when I don't find that I connect with it or that it's really necessary for the song. So I feel like Franklin's Tower is a great example of that. You know, I mean, the vocal melodies in the chorus are great, but it's really that catchy chorus that hooks you, you know, roll away the dew, and he sings it over and over again. And like I've mentioned before on this channel, you know, a lot of great melodies are just simple and repeatable, and that's kind of what this is. Another great thing about Franklin's Tower is that it's all just one progression. So that chorus melody that's so catchy is under the same progression that you'll solo with. So for me, I like it because I can play that melody and then play my own authentic stuff and then come back to the melody and then find something else interesting. You know, I'm not stuck just playing one specific melody over chord progression. And so the chord progression for Franklin's Tower, if you don't know, is just A with a pass in G to D, pass in G to A. So the song is in A mixolydian, you know, which is the same as D major. And that just gives you that flat 7. But for the vocal melody, you don't even need all that. You just need the A major pentatonic. It really just starts with 3 notes, really just that A, the B, and the C sharp, you know, the 1, 2, 3. Michael Palmisano on GuitarGate, he's a big advocate of that. He's like, most songs really just use the 1, 2, 3 melodies, and you can create great melodies with that. So I found some isolated Jerry Garcia vocals. So I'm going to play that with the notes so you can kind of hear how it matches up. You know, with real takes of human voices, you know, the vocals notes will slide and move and they won't be just like on a fret or a key. And that's kind of the beautiful thing of it. When you listen to Jerry's parts, you can almost feel the emotion in his voice of it moving back and forth. And I guess my soapbox would be sometimes I feel like people make music too perfect and they cut that out, or they hit the notes too perfectly and you kind of miss some of that vulnerability. So here's the notes of the melody. So it starts on that C sharp, roll away, and then the do is just B, A.
Roll away the dew.
So in this cut, Jerry does that one twice, and he hits it again.
Roll away the dew.
And then on this version, the next 2 bars of that chorus, he goes up to the major 6 and then down to that 5th. And then he still hits that B to A.
Roll away the dew. Roll away the dew.
So all together it's
Roll away the dew. Roll away the dew. Roll away the dew. Roll away the dew.
So obviously there's a lot more movement than just those notes. You know, he's got some up and downs, a little microtonal stuff, some bends, but it gives you the outline and the scaffold and to play the melody inside of your leads. So that way, if you're doing, you know, if you're playing a scalar or modal thing or your own melodies, you can easily find that melody and jump back in and kind of tag it, you know, it's. And of course, it's helpful if you find them in all the spots. Another thing is that sometimes, you know, just the phrase in itself is good enough. You don't need the exact notes. You know, if it's 3, 2, 1, as far as the intervals, I mean, you can almost just sing that same phrase in your head with different notes, you know. And just you're going from chord tones to chord tones. So that's much different intervals when I'm going from the root to the flat 7 to the 6, which would be the third of D. But like, you don't even need to know it. Like, if you're just singing it in your head, you can kind of feel it. And that's really what phrasing is. It's more about kind of that rhythm and the attack of it and the length of the notes. So I think Franklin's Tower is a great melody to start with. You know, you can throw it in the context of your big modal stuff or your arpeggios. And it's simple and catchy. You don't even need to do the whole thing. I mean, you could just be playing and just. And then go right back to your stuff. So that's how I incorporate vocal melodies into my playing. I like to just take the catchiest vocal part that gets stuck in my head, and then I figure out a way to put it into my playing and let it kind of come and go as I please. You know, I'm much more of an improviser, so that's how I like to do it. Other people might prefer to learn the whole verse melody and play that whole part, which is fine too. So mess around with that simple melody and see if you can incorporate it into your playing.